Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the Georgia Power Energy Assistance Community Forum and Training Session. We're appreciative of everybody's attendance. I'm Lisa Regan, Senior Director of Programs and Services, and we are introducing here today Danny Johnson, the Energy Assistance Manager from Georgia Power, and Tamika Johnson, Outreach and Education Coordinator from Georgia Power, and Dr. Melissa Middlebrooks, the Program Coordinator, Energy Assistance from Georgia Power. So we are so grateful for their presence here today, and we're grateful for their partnership and for their help. We know that Georgia Power is a hugely
I also
important
sent you the same
partner
email,
in the work that
forwarded
we
it
do
from
for
Brian
our neighbors
just
in
now.
need. So Tamika's
My link's
presence
working.
in troubleshooting things that we might have, questions that we might have with regards to help and support for our neighbors is appreciated, and they will also take us through a lot of the hands-on portal usage training today for treasurers. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tamika.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. So excited to be here again. As Lisa has said, I'm Tamika Johnson, Outreach and Education Coordinator with Georgia Power. So excited to be here with you all, and hello to everyone out in the virtual world there. Excited to have you all there. And I just want to give a shout out to Georgia Power alumni, Louise in the house. Really appreciate you. So we just have a lot of information that we're excited to share with you all today. This presentation is going to go in like two parts. So the first part is going to focus on our energy assistance resources. And then there's going to be a second part that's going to speak to our energy assistance portal, which some of you may be familiar with, but may not be aware of some of the enhancements that we've made to it. I just wanted to just give you that overview of how this is going to go. So our energy assistance team actually started back in 2017, and it has since expanded. But our mission is to not only identify, but respond to the evolving and changing needs of our customers, as well as our community partners. And we do that by providing, like we're doing today, education, support, and a strong community presence. And we also do that while we're delivering innovative products, programs, and services that promote energy equity, affordability, which we know that is a very hot topic of conversation in many rooms across the nation, sustainability, and just being that safety net for our customers. And so the pictures that you see here on the screen are identifying some of our key customer partners. So we have 3 key customer partners that we focus on, and that is those that are income qualified or with limited income. We have those that have disabilities as defined by the ADA or have a ongoing or one-time special need. And then we also have, of course, our seniors, our elders, those that are 65 and older. And the great partnership that we have with St. Vincent, we know that it is so important and vital that we provide that safety net to our most vulnerable customers. And at the end of the day, what we want to do is keep the lights on. So before we go a little further, I just want to give you an overview of our team, Energy Assistance. So again, started out in 2017 and since has expanded into this wonderful umbrella of 4 business units. So again, today we have our manager, Danny Johnson, who's actually in the room today with us. He's waving his hand if you can't see him. And then we also have, of course, myself and Melissa, which are the outreach and program coordinators. And then we also have our support team, which some of you may be familiar with or have dealt with some of our support team before. They are an awesome group that support our back office, as well as work directly with questions and inquiries about the portal. We have a team lead and 4 support analysts. They all report to Tabitha Duncan, which is their supervisor. And then we also have an executive customer relations team. So some of our customers are very resourceful. They have the unique opportunity of finding the email address of our CEO, Tim Green, as well as some other executive teams, and they may send their inquiries and concerns up to our executive team, in which case our lovely executive customer relations team will intercept those and bring resolution to those inquiries, as well as any public service commission issues that may come about, or Better Business Bureau inquiries that may come about. So they do assist with those. There's 2 analysts and team lead for that team. And then as of 2024, we introduced a brand new team, which is our customer engagement specialist. And they are boots on the ground in different regions, strategically placed to handle inquiries that may come from the field. So we know that there was a lot of pain points that happened when the local offices closed many years ago. And although we don't have local offices anymore and not places that people can walk up, we still have strategically placed our specialists throughout the different regions that can answer some of those inquiries and resolve them as they come to the field, which would be our energy, our power delivery team, or our engineering team. So that's 4 business units. And it's just amazing work that we've been doing, and we all work together, just building a synergy of support for our customers. So now we're going to go into what we call our 4 A's, which are affordability, accessibility, awareness, and then, of course, assistance. So with affordability, again, hot topic, right? All over the news, so many rooms of conversation. And what is affordability? It is the ability to afford, right? And in this course, the ability to afford the basic needs. We want to make sure that our clients and our customers are in a position to where they are able to afford those basic needs and help us. And we want to help them through providing wraparound services. And then with that comes awareness. So a lot of customers, what we realize out there is just not aware of the resources that are available. So part of our job in energy assistance is to bring that awareness. We want to make sure that there is equity in all of these resources and that everyone has that opportunity to take advantage of these resources that are available, as well as making sure our community partners are aware so they can be those ambassadors for us in the community. Then accessibility, again, making sure that those resources are accessible. So we know there are communities where there is internet insecurity, everyone doesn't have access to a computer or tablet, but we are making it to where if you have a cell phone, now you can scan the QR code, you can have some availability and some accessibility to some of those resources. And then of course the assistance piece, which is like my favorite part of that. And that's just making sure that we partner and communicate with our community partners so that they're aware that we can make sure that the people are getting what they need. They're getting the assistance that they're in need of, and that we are matching them with the right resources. One of our big discounts that we are really promoting right now is our income qualified discount. And with the income qualified discount, we actually have a goal of enrolling 32,000 customers into this program. And we're trying to enroll a total of 96,000 within the next 3 years. So we don't want anyone to miss out on money on the table. $33.50. And some may say, oh, $33, but just imagine if you have a $200 bill and someone gives you $33, that reduces your bill to $166. I'll take it. I'm pretty sure most people will take it, you know, so every little bit helps. And there are some eligibilities, of course, with this discount. Of course, they must be a Georgia Power customer and the bill should be in their name. And then also, if they receive Social Security Disability Insurance, that gives them eligibility. If they get SSI, which is the Supplemental Security Income, that gives them eligibility, as well as if they participate in the federal housing choice voucher.
I switched
And then
where I
of course
was
our
logged in.
seniors, they're
They hit
65
the
years
they hit the
older,
board
and they meet these income requirements, which is at least
Yeah, it was on the
200% of
bottom.
the federal poverty guideline.
But it's saying it's being recorded.
Eligible to get this $33 off their bill every month. Who wouldn't want that? You know, and 200% of the federal poverty guideline, just to give you context, if you're a household of one, it's around about $30,140 a year. And for a household of 2, just a little over $40,000. So we've expanded
I did. I
this
had
discount to
Then what? It
include a
wasn't
broader
labeled.
audience.
Hey,
So some of you
we
may
can hear
actually
you.
have known it or been familiar with it
Amen.
when it was called the seniors
You're
discount,
not gonna go get it?
which only
Just
kind of
kidding.
included that senior bracket. But with this enhanced income qualified discount, we're now able to expand that to include more people, and many more are able to get and take advantage of.
Did you just shift anyone that was on the grandfathered senior and you moved
That's right.
to this?
That's right.
And secondly, is this as well for renters?
So we have some other programs, but yes, that is for renters. So anyone, as long as it's in their name and they are a Georgia Power customer and they meet those requirements, they can receive this discount. So yes.
We shifted 102,000 traditional income qualified senior discount recipients to this new program.
For those of you online that didn't hear that, we shifted about 102,000 seniors that were on the previous loan as senior discount into now what we call our enhanced income qualified discount. And so we do have a QR code as well, and there's some collateral here that we've left for you. If you scan that QR code, you're able to get directly to our website and definitely be able to see where you can take advantage of that opportunity. In the chat, possibly? Right now, did you know that there are 7 different rates with Georgia Power? Most people think, oh, it's just one rate, or they're familiar with flat bill. There are actually 7 different rates that are tailored to your lifestyle and your behavior. So, of course, our traditional residential rate. Then we have flat bill, which many people are familiar with, and that gives you a flat bill that does not fluctuate for 12 months, which allows our customers to budget properly for their lifestyle and for, their electricity. We also have our overnight advantage rate, which if you are able to shift your power usage to overnight, you get a discounted rate for that. It's also great for those with electric vehicles. So if you plug up your electric vehicle at night, you can get a benefit by going on this overnight advantage rate. And we also have prepay, which we know a lot of people are familiar with that. That's a pay-as-you-go type of rate. You pay for your power in advance. That way you can avoid some of those big $500, $600 bills. You've already paid for it. You can only use what you paid for. So that does make it a benefit for a lot of customers. And we have many customers that have taken advantage of that. Then we have our smart usage at nights and weekends rate, which both of these are rates that allow you, if you shift your power usage to what we call non-off-peak hours, it allows you to benefit. So on-peak hours are from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. And if you are able to shift your power usage away from that time frame, then you can get a discounted rate or benefit. So, 2 to 7 is usually when the kids are coming home from school. That's usually like, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. That's when everybody's coming home from work, starting dinner, you're throwing things in the laundry machine and all of that. But if you can shift that to after 7 or before 2, you can get a benefit with this rate. Then, of course, the last one that we have is pay by day. And we do have a few brochures out there for you guys. With the pay by day, it is a combination of our flat bill and our prepay rate. So it combines them. It gives you the option of paying in advance for your power, and then also it being like a flat rate. So based off of course, we'll take a look at what your usage trend is. Say you use about $5 a day on average on your usage. We will contract you for that $5 and you can pay that. So I'm going to just pay $25. And that's going to help me for the week. That's going to last me for the week. So it's a great option that combines the best of both worlds for flat bill and prepay.
Or a change?
It's not. It's not.
I need to repeat the question.
Yes.
When you pay by the day and you pay that flat fee, does it carry over or does it cut you off? Like when you get your allotted amount?
That's right.
It don't cut you off.
That's right. Because again, you're paying in advance for it. So you can only use what you pay for. So that's. Oh, I'm sorry. So the question was, is there a cutoff with the pay by day option? Will your power get cut off once you've reached that amount that you've paid, which that is yes. The answer is yes, because you've already prepaid for your usage. So once you've exhausted that amount, then yes, unless you we just add more dollars onto your account, it will cut you off. But you get notifications and all of that, letting you know, where you are before that happens. Yes, ma'am.
Benefits from that option more, or?
You said a profile like which customer?
Yeah, what
So it's for a customer who maybe they're on limited income and they know that instead of waiting for a postpaid bill where it may be $200 or $300, which may be a strain on their budget. Now they know that if I can just pay $20 this week and $25 another week, and it's already paid for, it's not something that I'm waiting to see what that bill is going to be. That would be a benefit for them in their budgeting.
So is it based on their average usage or average?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So we will take a look at what their usage is. So again, it's a really great benefit for a lot of our customers that we're focused on, because they are a limited to moderate income, or they have, a limited income where they're strained and they're budgeting all of these things that they're trying to live on: rent, utilities. They may have children that, they're trying to look for daycare and all of that. So at least they know that, okay, with this rate, I can just make sure I budget $25. That's what it should be for the week. Any other questions? Yes.
Pay by the day, does that allow you to pay more often? So if you budget yourself $5 a day, can you pay that $5? Like, I'm gonna pay it in the morning and, it'll get me through? Or, because I know the flat rate, not flat rate, the regular prepay, it has a 10 time per month. And then you have to find another way to.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, so, like I was saying, you can definitely make every week you're gonna pay this amount. So if you're gonna pay $25 and that, that's gonna get you through the week, and then that Friday, you can go ahead and add another if you like. And with prepaid, you made a really great point, Krista. You do have a maximum amount that you can just keep posting onto your account, which is about 10 times, but you would definitely just keep adding funds as you see fit. If you only have $5 and you just add the $5, if you have $25, you can add the $25 or more. Does that answer your question?
Prepay, it's just that
Flat, that's right. It's a mix of both ones. Hope that answered your question. These are great questions. I think Danny wants to add something into that as well.
Might just need to get him on the mic just so.
Oh, I get the so I'm Danny, for those of you that are virtual. Let me just add a little bit more context. You asked a question about profile. We don't profile customers. What we try to do is create options that are attractive for our customers. And what we've learned is, really with prepay, we maybe initially thought that it would be for customers who were trying to avoid a security deposit, and also wanted to be able to be flexible. What we've learned is college students love prepaid. They love prepaid because there's no security, security deposit. There's no credit assessment that's performed at the initiation of the program. And it gives you up to 10 notifications by email, phone call, or text message. So you know about how you're using energy. The other benefit with prepay is we have data now that customers who stay on prepay for at least 1 year will reduce their energy usage, or have reduced their energy usage by 11%. So it's a really good tool to help customers manage their energy costs. The biggest difference between prepay and pay by day is prepay, we're billing you on a per day basis based on your usage. So you're getting that information. Pay by day, we look at 12 months of your history and we come up with an average. So instead of being concerned about your bill being $7 today and then $10 on Friday, with pay by day, we are looking at an average, and we take that average very much like we do with flat bill, and we say, we're gonna bill you $5 a day for a 12-month period. So if you, as Tamika mentioned, if you pay $25, that's gonna last you 5 days. And you're getting that consistency with pay by day. With prepay, it is exactly what it is. If you use $7 today or $3 tomorrow, that's $10 of usage. But then on Saturday, when the football game comes on, that's right. That's exactly right. So I just wanted to make sure that I addressed the profile comment, because we really try to stay away from not being the police profiling anybody.
Thank you, Danny.
Customer type, can you say young people like to pay by day more, with the that might not appeal to seniors, you know, who.
In fact, we don't want seniors on the program, on prepaid because it's too volatile. What we've experienced is, in many cases, let me get the mic. Sorry.
Sorry.
Lisa was like, get the mic. But what we've experienced with seniors, a lot of times they think that's the only option to be able to get their power back on because maybe of a large balance. And the seniors that we're encountering in the community that we work with a lot of times have now their grandkids living with them. And that volatility of that prepaid account. So we just say, no, let's figure out a better rate for you and then make a payment arrangement to take care of it. Or partner with our friends at St. Vincent to try to get that bill paid.
Is it based or, you know, cost per term for you guys? Are they all, how do you end up with knowing, okay, if I want to repay, it's gonna be $10 a week or 20?
It's still based on you.
It's still based on you.
All right, have a question?
Last question, does the pay by J allow you to, roll that previous balance in as well as?
We're actually about to talk about that now. So we're gonna just kind of add a visual to what we've kind of been talking about. If you all like me, if I can see it, it kind of helps me get a little bit better perspective of what's going on. So what we're doing now is we're gonna kind of show you, do a little comparison on some of the different rates. So when we think about flat bill versus budget bill, and of course, is it possible to get a copy of the slides? Okay, yes. So when we think about, and much of this was already said, but we just want to give you some clarity. So flat bill means basically no surprises. When we think about no matter the season, right? So for the entire year, that flat amount is based on your previous usage, but we take that average amount and we come up with a flat rate for the year. And you have that set flat rate, correct? So you do receive a 12-month contract with no fluctuation. That's the whole point of the flat bill. And it helps a lot of the customers who want to have a clear understanding of what is my bill going to be. Settlement amounts may apply if the contract is ended early. So we suggest you stay on it for 12 months because again, that 12 months is going to give us that reading and that rate for the next 12 months if you decide to come back onto flat bill again. Yes, ma'am. We have a question.
I don't know if I'm ahead of myself and you might explain it, but as far as after the 12-month period is over, as far as that contract, is that usage rate reevaluated based on?
Correct.
Okay.
That is why the question was, is the contract amount reevaluated at the end of the 12 months? That is exactly right. So what we're trying to do is establish that amount. So which is why we say stay on the contract for 12 months. And if not, there may be a payment that you're going to have to do to come off of that flat bill prior to that 12-month period. So new rates are offered at the end of that contract, which means they're going to take that average and they're going to give you a new flat rate for the next 12 months. Does that make sense? Okay, so you have a flat rate.
No, you just plug it in like you did there. It's already done.
So budget billing is adjusted slightly based on your usage. So you can still budget for this rate. It averages your monthly charge.
Right there on your left.
Right? And then it's ideal to also remain on 12 months because that's where we get that initial amount. That initial amount is based on your previous 12 months of usage. From that, we give you a budgeted amount. Now, the difference between flat bill and the budgeted amount is this budgeted amount can fluctuate based off of your usage. So if we look closely at some of the example here, you see the budgeted amount started out at 143 for the first month. The next month, same amount of usage, about 110 to 100 kilowatts was used. So we're still at 143. But then if you notice in March, they used 130 kilowatts, right? So because their usage dropped, the budget bill dropped. But once they adjusted their usage, they went back down to 104. So they went from 130 to 104. That kept them at that average of about 128. See what I'm saying? So once they got to May, those summer months coming in, they started to use 159 kilowatts. So now we have to adjust, make some type of adjustments, right? So that 128 that they paid in May went up to 130 based on usage. But then they kept that average usage, 188, 186, 179. So that 130 stayed. You see how it affects, your usage affects that budget billing. But then when it came back down to the fall months, only using 8880, it dropped back down to that 143. So that's what we want our customers to be aware of, because they'll call in and say, uh-oh, they changed his name. Okay, so they'll call in and say, well, my bill amount changed. And then we'll have to go into the account and say, oh, that's because you're on budget billing, and it's going to adjust based off of your usage. I think sometimes they're thinking they're like on a flat rate where it's not going to change, but it does adjust. And you do also have a deferred balance that at the end of that 12 months, if you used more energy than you paid for, then of course you're going to have an adjustment made. But where you're either going to get a debit or credit. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Available with good credit standing. So we try to look at the customer's credit that is calling in to see if they are going to be a good candidate for budget billing.
There's a lot of people.
Hold on one second.
They do have to be an A or B credit rated customer to be eligible for the budget bill rate. And also, just to add to what Melissa was saying, another benefit of it is the increases typically don't fluctuate more than about $20 at the most. So it's not like a humongous, like, oh my goodness, $100 difference on your bill. It's just gonna fluctuate just slightly as you use more.
Hello, Larry. I'm Barry Pierce, the treasurer.
Just a quick interruption. Apparently some folks online are having a hard time hearing. So if everyone could just stay on mute. If you're not muted online, go ahead and mute for us, just to make sure that there's no interference with the audio. Thank you.
Thank you. And you had a question?
So in regards to.
I feel like I have flat rate, like a fixed rate.
Are you renovating into a home?
Year, and then they see the thing and ask if you want to do 6 months or 1 year. Yeah. I think I'm at 47 cents a firm. Or no, for gas. For electricity, the city of East Point, they don't have any
So what we did with the. So are you Laura, by the way?
Oh, no.
Okay. Hi there. So great question. And the question was regarding if you have like a new homeowner that moves into a property and they're looking to see which rate would be best for them, such as like maybe budget or flat bill or anything like that. So what it used to be is that you had to have been in the property for at least 12 months in order to see what your actual usage would be. But we have now since changed that to where if you want to take the average of the previous person that was there before you, you can take that and use that. So when you call into our customer contact center and you're talking to a consultant and wanting to set up power, they should be kind of giving you some options there, in which case they'll give you that option. If you do want to try this flat bill option, we will be taking the usage of the prior person that was before you. And if you like it and you're interested in, then okay. If not, then we can choose some other rates of one of the 7 that we have available. Now, if it's like a brand spanking new, new construction build, then you might just want to think about what your lifestyle is and what may be better for you. I hope that answered your question.
Okay, and just to note, we use the square footage in the appliances that are in the home to kind of help us calculate and kind of see which rate is going to be best for each customer that calls in. So we also went over the differences, a lot of the differences between prepay and pay by day. So we're looking at that prepay again. You pay as you use the electricity, just like we said, you pay before usage, right? The amount you pay in advance may fluctuate based off of your usage. So if you put $25 on, once you've used $25 worth of electricity, you have to make another payment. And it helps you to manage your energy bill and budget, because like Dan said, you kind of start to see patterns in your actions and your behaviors, and you can start making some of those adjustments. And then when we're looking at pay by day, you have that fixed daily rate that is based off of the previous usage. And it's ideal for you to stay on for 12 months. Can anyone tell me why we want you to stay on for 12 months? What is that 12 months gonna do? Set the rate for the next plan if you decide to stay on pay by day. And then that offer is given annually. So when we look at both prepay and pay by day, some of the benefits are no deposit required, no credit check, no reconnect fees. And then if you have a deferred balance that you're bringing into that prepay account, you can use our 75-25 option where 75% of your payment goes to your usage and 25% goes to a deferred balance that you're trying to pay off. So that's why a lot of our customers see that as beneficial if they have that deferred balance that they need to pay off. Any questions about those two? I know Dana and Tamika went over a lot of that prior to. Any other questions that you guys can think of? Yes.
Like, you may be covering this later, but about the deferred balance, that's something that comes up, a lot in what I do, but do you all, so that's one of the things where, somebody has been cut off for a while and they want to get reconnected. So sometimes they end up going into the prepay option, the deferred balance. Does everybody have a deposit to get on their, if they have had, if their electricity's been turned off because of lack of payment and they were on a different plan, in order to switch over to the prepaid, is there a balance at minimum that they have to pay first before they can go here?
She's our customer. Here, I'm gonna let the subject matter expert speak on that.
So no, there is no deposit to get onto one of our prepay or pay by day. However, there's like $40 fee that they usually pay into to get the power back started again. No reconnection fee. So no deposit, no reconnection fee. The $40 is just to get money on the account essentially for them to get power. That's where you would typically see that. Any other questions? These are great questions. I love it. Great question.
All right, so we're gonna move on and look at some of our energy efficiency programs. So our EASE program is our Energy Assistance for Saving and Efficiency program. Yes, sorry, hold on one second, we have one more question.
Krista may have this answer because she's maybe done it, but how would St. Vincent de Paul pay towards a prepay? So I guess in the portal, you're gonna show us how to do that.
Yes.
I think of the conferences that are still using pledge letters and checks, that might be a little more difficult on a pay by day or a prepay. So keep that in the back of your minds, maybe, because I might ask it again.
Yeah, write it down definitely, because we are gonna adjust some of those in the portal when we get to the portal part. So our EASE program here. Oh, it's not working. Oh, I'm too close. Yeah, can y'all see the red light? True. Okay, so our EASE program helps income qualified customers save money on their energy bill by providing free energy efficiency improvements to their home. And the customers that are eligible for our EASE program have to meet those income qualified requirements, and renters are eligible, but there is a conversation that is had with the landlord to ensure that they understand that these efficiency updates are going to be made to the home, right? So that they won't raise the rent and those type of things because the home is now more efficient. So this is a program that is income qualified. And then we have our Hope Works program, I apologize, and that program allows up to $5,000 in grants for those updates, home updates. Our Hope Works is used for our senior citizens. So again, Georgia Power customers that are 60 years and older who live and own their own home. So the account does have to be in their name and have a household income that meets that income qualified requirement. Can also have we also have a 5,000 grant for them that they can receive to have energy efficiency updates done to their home as well. And then we have our HEAT program, which is Home Energy Improvement Program. And this is one of our rebate programs where homeowners can have energy efficiency work done to their home and then apply for rebates. There is not. You do have to be a Georgia Power customer, and you do have to just, follow the guidelines, working with those contractors. And so that means if you're working with that contractor, there will probably be a fee for you to have the home evaluated prior to being able to apply for these rebates. So you have to make sure that people understand that they have to pay that upfront fee with the contractors to get the home evaluated. And I think it's typically about, you remember that amount, Danny? $150. So just be mindful because, they'll say, well, I didn't know I had to pay for someone to come out and evaluate my home prior to having this work done. So that is something to be mindful of. Okay, yes, thank you.
In regards to the heat program, is there a cap or a ceiling in regards to the amount?
Yes, and we do have some information online. It's a percentage of the rebate. So the question was, is there a cap on the rebate? So where the prior to have the cap, the grant fee of about $5,000 each, heat is based off of a percentage. So that percentage is going to be adjusted based off of the type of work that's done to the home. And another thing we would like to share with these programs is if you have customers that apply for weatherization programs with other organizations, they still can apply for these. So for example, if you have a senior that meets the requirement for another agency and they give them $5,000 and they meet our qualification, we give them $5,000. That's a $10,000 amount that they can then make those adjustments to their home. Yes.
My name is Taffy and I'm a part of PAL, but we are partnering with the Mayor's Office of Sustainability for the weatherized ATL program.
Okay.
So you're saying that they can be a part of this program and still be eligible for the programs?
Right. Yes, as long as they're a Georgia Power customer and they meet those requirements and eligibilities, yes. Great question. So the question was, she was just verifying that they can use grants. Copies of the slides. I think somebody. Okay, yes, copies of the slides will be provided. And the recording. All right, so the next slide we want to talk to you all about is our customer assistance resource tool, and we call this our CART tool for short. So our CART tool is so unique because it is a free platform for organizations to come together and share resources with resource information with citizens all over and residents all over the state of Georgia. So the great thing about our CART tool, it's available for anyone who lives in the state of Georgia. They do not have to be a Georgia Power customer to use this resource. And I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and take your phone out and scan that QR code. And those of you online, please scan the QR code, put in your zip code, select a resource type. And what you would notice is there are 6, currently, we're trying to increase this, but currently there are 6 different resource types. Food, utility, rent, shelter, counseling, mortgage assistance. Put in your zip code and see if you can identify a local agency in your area that supports in that resource. Did anyone find anything that they are willing to share? And you can type it in the chat online if you found a resource for your area. Did anything come up? All right, can you share what you found? Fulton Atlanta Community Action Authority. Okay, we had the same zip code area. Anyone else find something in their local area? Dayton, Atlanta? Aid Atlanta. Okay, which resource did you select, if you don't mind me asking? Utility. So Aid Atlanta would then in turn, you would go to, oh, there were 11 different resources, beautiful. So you would then, Georgians can now see where are the resources that are close to me, because a lot of times it's just understanding where do I start. So what Tamika and I and our new customer engagement specialist try to do is we try to find different community organizations such as yourself, faith-based and community-based organization that are sharing resources, and we allow them to or invite them to join this free platform so that in turn, many people can make those connections to that assistance. So like Tamika said earlier, that's one of our 4As is to make sure that the people who need the assistance have the information to get there. So again, yes, please, have a question? Thank you.
I put in a zip code of 30022 for rent.
Okay, she put in 3002 for rent. 22.
Because that produces a list.
It's similar.
Yes.
Separate.
Mhm.
On Memorial Drive in Stone.
Oh, you know what, Louise, are you scrolling?
Yeah.
So
It
it,
doesn't come up on their, yeah, I have United Way, but not St. Vincent de Paul.
Well, thank you for letting us know, because we need to check to make sure, you know, like you're saying, that's statewide, and we definitely want to try to support as many zip codes as we can. So thank you for bringing that to our attention, because this may be something we need to do on the back end to ensure that people get the information that they need again.
Although I just increased.
Thank you.
We're gonna need some money.
So you'll see with the zip code, is community specific. And then it's 24 hour access. And like we said, you do not have to be a Georgia Power customer. We ask people to share this with their friends, with their families, those who need to know where are the resources. This is a great tool. And if you know other organizations, for example, your churches, that have benevolent offerings, they too can join this free platform, because it's all about supporting and helping the community to get the resources that they need. So just be mindful. If you know of an organization, let Tamika and I know today, we'll reach out to them. If they have resources to support the community, we want to make sure they know about this opportunity. Yes.
people are asking if you could carry the mic to the question.
Okay. Hold on.
You answered the question as far as letting you guys know so we can add.
Yes. So the question was, how does the information get to us? We can simply give you our contact information, and we will definitely reach out to that organization to get them added to this cartoon, because we want to grow it as much as possible. And then we can type our information in the chat, or, you know, if we need to before we close out the meeting.
Melissa, would you, while you're on that, would you ask anybody that found a resource to hit the pin?
Oh, yes. If you hit the pin, it'll show you the directions on how to get to that location. So that pin option, map pin in search, if you click on it, it will give the directions on how to get there.
So if you don't have transportation, then you have the ability to see how far you may have to walk.
Hopefully get a ride. Okay, thank you for that highlighting. Of course, our energy assistance portal is also a free web-based tool that we use for agencies and faith-based organizations, and public and private charitable organizations use this to help get assistance to customers quickly, right? So the Energy Assistance Portal is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and allows users to easily view customer information and make payments or pledges without needing to call, fax, or email. The portal is initiated to fit any device, your desktop, your tablet, your cell phone, and help you again to make those pledges and payments. So the benefits of our energy assistance portal is it eliminates some of those pain points and trying to get the client served. So you can pay on one or multiple accounts. So we're going to look at that, what we call our mass pledge. Well, you have 12 to 18 months of history that you can view for the village. And you can see current totals and past due amounts. But we're going to break this down for the part 2 and give you some visuals. You can view account statuses, average bills, pending payments, usage history. If any other pledges or anything have been put on the account, you will have access to that information. So in order to get on our energy assistance portal, we vet the organizations to ensure that they are going to in fact honor the system of when they're making a pledge or which is a promise to pay, that they're going to follow through, right? What are some of the other benefits? It improves the customer experience. So if they're coming and they're saying, I don't have my Georgia Power bill, you now have a quick access point to get that information to eliminate that pain point or that barrier. You can easily view the customer's information. It's 24-hour access with no cost. You can make payments and pledges for critical accounts to hold them out of arrears, to ensure that they're not disconnected. And you can eliminate the need to have to always call. You can just have that access at your fingertips. Any questions about our portal? We're going to get a little bit deeper, but we wanted to give you an overview for those people who have to drop off. Okay, anyone have any questions online about our portal before we move into section 2? So if you do want to know more information about that portal, you can go to energyassistance.southerncompany.com, and it would in turn give you a little bit more detailed information about the portal if you don't have time to. If you don't have any questions now, you may have some that come up later.
There are 4 short videos. So for the what?
Oh, and there are 4 short videos, which he was alluding to. Here you can see a video about energy assistance, the portal overview. And some of these videos, those that are part 2, you're going to witness today, retrieving and reviewing customer and account information, how to make a payment, which we're going to go over, and how to make a pledge. So those videos that, if you're not here for part 2, that gives you access to these videos in the future. And if you need to go back and just say, well, what did they say, or what was that process? You'll still have that information on hand. All right. So we're going to watch a quick video of an overview of the portal. And like I said, we'll take the last few questions before we move on to part 2.
Do you provide financial assistance to members of the community? If so, Georgia Power has a tool.
They mean, approval for pledges, so if we were to put a pledge out there, how do we know if that pledge has been approved?
Is it approval to pledge or pledges?
Yeah.
We pledge.
Right, if
We
we
make
make
a pledge.
pledge. And how do we know that that has been approved and that, you guys will kind of hold their account until we can get the funds into there?
So you'll get a confirmation once you make a pledge in there. So there's 3 different access points.
You might need someone.
I'm sorry, so the question was about the pledges and how do you know when it's been done and approved. So once you make that pledge in there, you'll get a confirmation to see, and we're going to that in a little bit further into that. You'll be able to also go back and verify what pending pledges are in the system for a particular customer. So you do have that ability as well. And we're just trying to get our little videos to go forth, and so you can just see a little quick overview, and then we'll go into more detail to answer some of those questions about the payments and the pledges. And while she's doing that, just in terms of the pledge process and just making sure that everyone is aware of the correct process of that is before you make a pledge, you definitely want to make sure that you're going through that process of approving the customer on the organization end, to know that this is going to be indeed a customer that you are going to be assisting. And we're not holding up and waiting on certain things, so that, because once you make that pledge, it does give you 30 days in order for that payment to be made, in which case we know some of our organizations, they are still mailing payments. So we want to give them that opportunity to get that payment mailed to us and for us to actually post that payment. So it does hold that particular spot for that customer. I'll just continue on forward, and not hold up the presentation, but basically was just letting you know exactly what Melissa had went over in terms of it being a 24/7 tool and things of that nature. And we'll just move forward, because at this time, we're going to go into a little bit more detail with the portal. And, as I mentioned in the beginning part of
Do you provide financial assistance to members of the community?
is that with the portal, many of you may already be users of that and be aware of it, but we've made some enhancements that's going to be a really great opportunity to assist our customers more seamlessly. We couldn't hear it.
Oh, y'all can hear it?
Oh, you can hear it on the screen. Yeah, not in the.
Louise, you had a question?
Yeah, in the meantime, so if we're not using the portal and we're sending you a pledge, do you still want us to use DPC Energy Assistant at southernco.com to send an email to?
Yes, yes,
That's the correct.
yes, that's right. That is correct. So the question was that if you are not using the portal to send in a pledge, should you still be using that website and email address? And yes, that is correct. It should be, which is the www.gpcenergyassistance.com/energy assistance. And again, we definitely will ensure that these resources are available for you. We'll definitely be happy to leave some of the brochures and flyers that we have available for you all to pick up whenever you do come into the office as well. We have the website on there, but we'll definitely make sure you have all the email addresses that you need. And that should also be on our contact us, a little portion there on the website as well.
Something different? Are they hearing us and hearing the?
Okay.
Do you provide financial assistance to members of the community? If so, Georgia Power has a tool to make this process simple. The Energy Assistance Portal is a tool that is free to use for agencies, churches, public and private charitable organizations, and other nonprofits to utilize while assisting Georgia Power customers with their energy costs. Use the Energy Assistance Portal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I love technology.
Customer information, make payments or pledges that will post in real time at no cost to you. Have peace of mind without having to call.
Okay. No, this is not a video this time. Yeah, we just move to the next slide. Okay, so and with regards to the portal, yes, another question. Yes, yes. There's an announcement about the food. It'll take a quick little break for those that are here in the office and needing to have a little lunch.
Yeah, lunches have, some lunches have a label with your name.
Yeah, right here. Definitely welcome to eat and listen, and learn all at the same time, lunch and learn. We'll just take a quick little 30 seconds.
Well, thank you.
Do you provide financial assistance to members of the community? If so, Georgia Power has a tool to make this process simple. The Energy Assistance Portal is a tool that is free to use for agencies, churches, public and private charitable organizations, and other nonprofits to utilize while assisting Georgia Power customers with their energy costs. Use the Energy Assistance Portal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to easily view customer information, make payments or pledges that will post in real time at no cost to you. Have peace of mind without having to call, fax, or mail. To access the Energy Assistance Portal, visit energyassistance.southerncompany.com. For more information, please email us at gpcenergyassistance@southernco.com. Do you provide financial assistance to members of the community? If so, Georgia Power has a tool to make this process simple. The Energy Assistance Portal is a tool that is free to use for agencies, churches, public and private charitable organizations, and other nonprofits to utilize while assisting Georgia Power customers with their energy costs.
Laptop for the portal, you know? I understand, not crazy, but it's just not gonna have sound, technically not connected to the speakers. Because I'm just all over this, all in my office. Yeah.
Where is?
Yeah. I'm gonna because it's all carrying sound on me.
Do you want to capture?
Concentrating with your laptop. The lights still work. It's just gonna be like a video, sound. The one that's down in the room, I have not.
We wanted to switch to the.
Okay, so then, yeah, so you always hear the speech. It's okay. You know, yeah, so it's gonna make it work. Okay. We're good, we're not. You get a credit for 33. Did you see your banner in the hallway? Did you see your banner hanging out in the hallway? I just put it, I'm gonna go ahead and. If you walk out to the left, you'll see it. Thank you.
We're about to get back started. Thank you all for your patience in the virtual world. We're just trying to get everything back online for you all. All right, and we're back. All right, so we're gonna get into the Energy Assistance Portal and how you can gain access if you don't already have access to it. So with the Energy Assistance Portal, you can go to the website, which is www.georgiapower.com, /energy assistance, and it gives you the option to create a user in a profile. So what you would do is, as you see here, is you would go ahead and create a username and a password. We would go ahead and approve that request. So it would come over to us saying that there is an agency or a user that is looking to gain access. And of course, that's where we would go and vet to make sure that this is a legitimate organization. Once we gain that access, you would get an email saying that you have been approved to be a user. At that point, there are actually 3 different permission or user types, which is an agency manager, an agency rep, or you can have a view only view as well. So the agency manager is a little bit more exhaustive, where it gives other people access to your particular user profile. And then you have the agency rep that has maybe a limited ability to just maybe do a pledge and payment only type of profile. They can't grant any access to any other user. And then you have those that all they do is go in and just view and just look and see get the information that they need. So one of the great opportunities with this is, again, is to make it a more seamless opportunity to assist our customers. So I've had the pleasure of working with some of our wonderful St. Vincent. Krista, shout out to you. We've gotten to know each other very well. And, you know, and I absolutely am always available, as well as Melissa, to assist in any way that you need or to answer questions. But this is also a tool that you don't have to call anyone at this point. So I know that a lot of times you get customers or clients that you're looking to get an invoice copy, or you need to know what is the actual current bill. Sometimes they may come with an old bill that may have one balance, and we need to know exactly what their balance is right now. Or you need to know what is the deferred, what is their old balance. You know, we have the prepay option, and you may need to know what is actually in their deferred balance at this time, and what is the amount that is actually on their current usage at this time. Well, the Energy Assistance Portal is going to give you that opportunity to see all of that information. And unfortunately, we don't have that option to view our video right now, but again, these videos are available for you to see that, but we'll still have a few bit of screenshots for you all to look at. So customer account information, very key, right? So with assistance with our customers, we know that they have to have a copy of their bill as well as their ID, social security number, and all of their identifiers. And so with the portal, you can log in and you can actually see their current information. So as you can see here, it's gonna work here.
Or it doesn't work on the TV.
There we go. So as you will be able to see here, it will give you all of the information, and then it actually breaks it down for you. So it'll give you what the past due charges are. So in this particular instance, the past due charges are $350.31. And then the great benefit of that is you can see what pending pledges or payments that they have. So maybe there might be another organization that may be assisting this customer. Well, now you can see that they have a pending pledge for $100 on the account already. So with that being said, because of that pending pledge, the recommended amount is $250.31 for their balance in terms of the past due.
They wanted to know, if each branch, each chapter had to have their, or council had to have their own account. And they do, because each account is tied to a particular bank.
Perfect answer. I don't know if you all weren't able to hear that, but the answer to that question, yes, each you call it conference, chapter conference, has to have their own username because each conference or chapter is tied to a different bank. So yes, you do have to create your own user for the agency. So yes, so here it gives you that opportunity to see, this is the recommended amount based off of any pending payments and pledges. And then it gives you that option there where you can either go ahead and make that payment now, or you can go ahead and make a pledge, knowing that if you're going to be sending a check in the mail, or there's, you know, you make payments maybe on a certain day. I know some of the organizations that we work with, they only make payments every Friday, something to that effect. So you can go ahead and put that pledge on there. As I was saying earlier, the pledge will hold the account for about 30 days or so, and 45 days if it's like an economic relief for those that are Red Cross or anyone's like that, or doing a economic relief payment or pledge based off of some natural disaster of some sort. So also it gives information in terms of what the current bill is. So it breaks it down for you. So you don't only see the past due and previous bill, but you can see what the new charges are that are coming. So here it has your current bill, shows that they have a current bill of $203. It shows whether they have any deposits added to their account or not. Sometimes if a customer has a history of being late, they may have an added deposit added to their account or some additional fees. So to show you all of that and show what that current bill is. And then it breaks it down to the past due portion, which is what a lot of our organizations are looking at. And it'll show you here again, this is what the actual usage was. This is what the amount was for the usage that they did. Here is a deposit of $140 that was added to their account. And here is what the total amount is, which was $557.39. So here's what the actual balance is, and here's what it is after any pending and payments or pledges. And then on this side here, to what Krista's question was regarding our prepaid customers. So with the prepaid customers, it gives you the account status, whether it's active and on. It tells you what the remaining dollars are on the account. So this particular customer, they have $65.09 on their account, which gives them an approximate remaining days of 14 days of service at this point. And then it also shows what the deferred balance is. So this particular customer had a balance that came over that they're paying off. $608 is in their deferred balance. And so I know that that is a question that comes up sometimes because perhaps there are organizations that are willing to pay off that deferred balance. So that's where you can verify and see that. And then making a payment, of course, and making a pledge, even on the prepay account there.
I have a question.
Sorry. Oh, so a collection is a payment arrangement. So if this particular customer either went online or they called into our care center and spoke with a consultant saying, hey, I'm needing additional more time. Can you give me an extra week, 2 weeks? What is the arrangement that you can work with me on? That's what the collection arrangement is. And also another great thing is that you can also see when the next scheduled read date is. So that's the meter read date. So we know that if a customer has a 2-month balance and they're going into a 3rd month, that's when they're eligible for disconnection. So that's going to be very important to know that if this customer doesn't get a payment made before the read date, which on this instance is October 14th, then they're up for disconnection. They're going to be disconnected. We're going to need to get that payment on there before we read the meter again. Krista, yes.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
We need a deposit made. Can we still go into their account using this and make a deposit? And also we always need to get, we were told before, we always need to get the web form number. So for prepays, they don't have that. Can we still access all of that?
Great question.
And then second of all, can we make a deposit on a brand new account with no information, no web account?
So a lot of awesome questions there. So to address the question regarding making a payment for a deposit. So if the customer has been billed a deposit on an account, then yes, you can make that payment and it will apply to the account to cover that, as long as that payment is covering that deposit amount. Yeah. So that's that question.
I have a question.
They haven't got a bill or anything yet. They have a letter saying,
okay,
that here's your account and this is how much it's gonna be to set it up.
So there will be a web access code created when the customer creates the account. So once they have already created that account, a unique web access code has already been created for the customer. It would be for them to get that information. Now, that is what we consider personal information. Just like we wouldn't just necessarily just give out their social security number, we wouldn't necessarily give out their web access code. So we would need that customer to get that, in which case they can get it online by getting a hard copy of their bill, or they can call in to the care center, of course, but they can also go online to their account as well and get that. Now, I know sometimes I get that call as well, which case I always say, I'm gonna have to have that customer on the phone to give me permission to give that personal information in order to do that. But yes, if you need to have that web access code, the customer really needs to be the person to give that to you.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
So it's the same thing, whether it's a traditional
not.
account or a prepaid account, it would be the same. So they do have access to getting that web access code, the customer does. It's just that because it is, again, like your social security number, it is personal identifying information. We just have to be very careful about safeguarding our customers' information, because once you have that web access code, there's a lot of things that you can probably do with that in the Georgia Power, on the Georgia Power account.
Yeah, we can hear you, Linda.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I've tried several times. We have somebody who,
How do we get in there?
was that a different Linda?
This particular,
To be able to pay prepaid.
I was gonna say, I didn't think that you needed the web access.
Oh,
Yeah, just it'll give you that option there to make that payment, and once you select it, you can go ahead.
So you need to clarify your question.
I'm so sorry for those that are in our virtual world there. So the question was about making a payment if you don't have the web access code. You don't need that web access code to make a payment in the portal. So that's one of the benefits. That, as someone is saying, that's the wonderful part about it. You can just click on the payment or pledge option and immediately that will post to the account. So you're getting real-time information there. Any other questions with that? Great questions. You will. Yes, you will see if there's a payment arrangement on there as well. Oh, there was a little option. Yes, so it'll say if there's a collection arrangement there. And then we have a couple different tabs. Okay. Right, so here's what an image of what the actual portal bill looks like. So it's not like the actual bill that the customer gets, but it gives all of the needful information on there. So of course, again, it's going to give you the Georgia Power account number and their address. It's going to give you what any pending payments, any pending pledges that are on the account. This particular example, it shows a past due charge of $1,250. It has a pending payment of $230. And then there are pending pledges in the amount of $756.99. So that's important to know when you're assisting a customer, what kind of assistance and pending payments and pledges that they have. And so then it will give you what the recommended amount is based off of everything that is currently happening on the account. And then it goes further to break it down even further for you in terms of what that balance looks like. So we give you the current bill versus what the previous or past due bill is, and if there's any deposits on there. And then again, it'll give you that meter read date, which is going to be important. So that helps you determine whether is this customer about to be disconnected or not. And of course, it'll also let you know whether the customer is on and whether the account is inactive or not. And then also a great tool or enhancement is that it lets you know if they are eligible for prepay or for pay by day. So that might be something that you may want to recommend to a client or customer that you're working with, especially if you see that they may benefit from that. Say, hey, did you know that you may be eligible for this option and that may be a better fit for you? And then also one of the enhancements that we have is this My Power usage. So you can definitely share this with a customer who maybe they don't have their bill or don't really understand. You can say, well, hey, here's why your bill went up. Look at your usage. On this date, 7/23, you used this amount. And when you hover over it, it'll give you what the actual kilowatt usage is. And you can see that little graph so that they can see when they're just like, I don't know why my bill went up. Oh, well, let's look. This is what you did on this day. Can you recall what was happening around that time? And, at least gives that a better picture to the customer in terms of what's happening. Any other questions on this before I move on? So as Melissa spoke about earlier, we do have the option on the tabs at the top is the billing and payment history. So you get 12 to 18 months of billing history. So in case you need to get like a previous bill or the customer just needed to know what a bill was, you do have that option to go down here, as well as it shows the payments and if it's from an agency or not. So if St. Vincent de Paul made a payment on there, you should be able to see a payment, able to see that it came from you guys, right? Which we love. And it also gives you what the billing period is. So like for this example, the bill here was dated May 10th. And so that means that for the service period is from 4/11 to May 10th. So, because remember, we're billing after the fact of usage on a traditional bill. And then again, the My Power usage is also in the portal, which is great again, because it gives you that option to look at this with customers and show the benefit of a potential flat bill or prepay or pay by day bill versus that traditional rate. And they can once again hover over and see what the usage is versus what the amount was that they used for that day. It's like, oh goodness, so for this month, I use this much, or for this day, I use this particular month. So it gives you that history as well to show what you used this month versus what you used last month. So last month, your average daily was about $3.81 a day. Well, this month it's about $4.20. What do you think happened? What may have caused that? Was there a change? Were the kids home from school from snow days? Like what was going on? So, you know, it gives you that benefit and it gives you the number of days in their billing period as well. And again, just that nice graph showing what their power use looks like. And now Melissa's gonna go back into our assistant history.
All right, any questions so far? All right, there were some questions in the chat. Okay. If your question online has not been answered, please repost it so that we can see what your question is. And again, we just wanted to reiterate that we do have the history through the portal. And again, that has been enhanced to now show 12 to 18 months of history. So again, it tells us if the organization that provided assistance used the portal to do so, their name will be displayed. So if there's different organizations that have helped the same customer client, you'll be able to see that as well. We got a question from the Zoom.
Will we need to set up a new agency?
Do you wanna say the next one?
Oh, sorry, hold on a second.
Why don't you stand together and
Let's see, will we need to set up a new agency for each SVdP conference on the portal? Okay, you got, what does collections arrangement mean? Okay. Linda on Zoom. Linda, unmute yourself and ask your question. Oh, maybe you answered it because there's a thumbs up.
Oh.
No.
And then the next, can North Georgia EMC and EPB be added to the Southern Company portal? Not yet. Most of, yeah, okay, in this area, most of our neighbors use these, those energy providers. I need to know what address I use to get a username and password.
I saw something that started with www.energyassistance.
Okay, you would use your conference address in the profile. Can you send us, can you send us these same instructions to share with those that could not make it?
They also have access to the recording.
Thank you. I just wanted to mention, in the assistance history there, you'll see that we display if a customer has received assistance from another organization. A lot of our organizations are faith-based organizations that use the portal, and they have specific limits on how much they can actually grant to a family. So in many cases, what will happen is a customer who needs assistance will walk into a church, and let's say their bill is $400. That church may have a limit of $200. And what they want to see is they want to make sure that they don't spend good money after bad money, right? So they want to see some effort by the customer to get the rest of the bill paid before they make that commitment. And so by doing so, they want some sweat equity in the game, so to speak. So a lot of times what will happen is the customer may go across town and receive assistance for that remaining $200. And when they come back to that original agency or church, then that church can see that those $200 are already committed. So that when they make that commitment, they have an assurance that the power is actually going to be cut on. So that's one of the main reasons that we display the organization that the customer visits to get that other funding from.
That was a question, there was a question relative to that just now in the chat.
Why do other organizations making payment / pledge not reflect their name in the payment history? It just says other organization? That's what you just addressed. Okay.
We anticipated that question.
I think Linda was also wanting the link to know where to sign up, that was
I'm sorry, absolutely.
Yes,
So you
thank
can
you.
register online at www.georgiapower.com/energy assistance. And definitely we have collateral here that you can scan that QR code and it'll take you right there directly. And of course, we will make sure that you have all of that information. We'll send out an email and make sure it gets out to everyone as well.
Thank you.
All right, so when we look at the tab for pledges, what we want you to know is that you can view pending pledges and expired pledges. And so by using that drop-down tab, you can select what type of pledge information you are looking for. And one of the enhancements that we have coming, so one of the enhancements is now you can see the expired pledges when they expire. But a future enhancement that we have coming is communication as to letting you all know in advance that this pledge is getting ready to expire. So a lot of times agencies will make pledges and they may forget, oh, this is the date that we're supposed to go back and honor that pledge. So what we're trying to put in the works is communication to just give you some points along the timeline to say, hey, just a reminder, this pledge is about to expire. So that way, if you need to follow through to make sure, again, the client should already have met all of the eligibility requirements prior to making the pledge on the account, so that by the time the date catches up, you can just make that payment. Because like Tamika said, there are some agencies that only pay once a week or at a certain time. And we just want to send out that reminder to make sure that that date is met. Any questions about that, Tab? We have the capability now to do mass pledge imports. Again, anyone that is on that mass pledge import does need to have already met all the eligibility requirements, but it kind of saves you time instead of having to go in day after day after day after day. If you have a group of pledges that you need to report at one time, submit at one time, then the mass pledge option now gives you that you can do multiple pledges at one time instead of having to go to each individual account. So we're just trying to alleviate some of those pain points and try to make it a lot more user-friendly for our organizations so that you will in turn, you see this as an asset and a resource. Again, you can see those pending pledges if you can decide to make a pledge, or those import pledges, the pledges that are coming in, import pledges into the mass import. All right, so we want you all to know that we still have our options of resources and support on the Energy Assistance Portal page. So if you find yourself with a question under those resources and support, you will get information about the very same things we just told you here today. So you can get it in written form, and again, you can use those video links on the website to go back and view any of the information that we just presented with you today. And of course, you also have Tamika and myself. If you have want to make a quick phone call, and we're here for you, you can contact us through that resource page. Great.
About them, they're great at answering questions.
Amazing. They're
Can you go back a slide? That number is good.
All right, so on the mass import, can you go back one more slide after Louise writes down the 877-285-7505? This mass import was a major request that we received from around the state. We have a lot of organizations that deal with LIHEAP funding. And as you can imagine, they might have 500 clients that come in, and instead of doing 500 individual transactions, now they have the ability to do 500 transactions at one time. And the beauty of this tool is that it actually generates an Excel spreadsheet. It identifies the customer name, the account number, the dollar amount, and there's a sum total at the bottom. So if you have to make an adjustment, then you got all of that at your fingertips. And it gives you the ability to print that out, email it as well. And obviously, you have the ability to save that Excel file. You can send it as I just lost the 3. You can send it as a PDF, but there's a JPEG, but CSV, thank you. It was like, I was like, wait a minute. There, it's 3 letters. I just had a senior moment in front of everybody. And it was a lot of fun. But having the ability, CSV files as well, but having the ability to be able to have that file at your fingertips and make that adjustment on the fly is really important, especially if you've overcommitted in terms of dollar amount when you get to the end. And often we will get a payment that's actually intended for the gas company. And it shows up because it doesn't have the right number of digits for the account number. So it's really one of those tools that helps us be more efficient and helps the organizations be more efficient. We have over 1,200 organizations using the portal now. Back in 2010, when the portal was introduced, we had 10 organizations using it. In 2017, when Energy Assistance was created, when Louise said, okay, we got to do something different as our vice president, we had 108 organizations at that time in 2017. Today, we have over 1,200 organizations using it because it adds value. And really, a lot of the organizations, I'm really going to date myself when I say this. A lot of the organizations no longer have that petty cash custodian. They used to write checks once a month for all of the bills. Anybody remember those? And so that, what'd you say? So that's what, the other piece that we're doing is we're adding a credit card link to the portal. Yes, it is on track to be actually implemented this year, so that in real time, you can go in and you can enter your credit card information, submit the payment. And what it does is it eliminates that customer from coming back saying, hey, I called Georgia Power. They still hadn't received the payment. Does that ever happen? Oh, I know that never happened. But that credit card link is going to be a game changer for the organizations that no longer have the petty cash custodian around and or have some concerns about how the U.S. mail, you can mail something today and 45 days later, maybe it'll show up. We sent Christmas cards this year and had a few gift cards in them. The Christmas cards arrived, but the gift cards were missing. So, I mean, it's a whole lot of crazy stuff going on. And I realize that this meeting is being recorded, so
Okay, well, at this point, that ends our presentation. We just want to hear from you all at this point in terms of any questions or concerns. And before we even go into that, we just want to say thank you so much for the partnership. You ladies are wonderful to work with. And we are just so appreciative of what you do for our communities and how you serve in the energy and the passion that you put into it. And we just want to say thank you. This is just a few pictures of us out in the community. We are statewide, so from all the way to the top of the state to the bottom of the state, we are there wherever we need to be to bring this awareness to our resources. And it's been a great ride. But thank you so much. Any other questions? Yes, Susie.
Invite her to go off.
Miss Susie, can you please go off of mute and
Thank
say
you.
your question?
Yes. Very early, and I got in just a little late, the income qualified discount of up to $33. How do you see that on a bill to know if a client has?
How do we get the slides?
Susie?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought somebody was talking. How do you can you look at the bill and know if they have that, and so that you can ask if they might want to qualify for that, and how do they qualify? Does it show on the bill, and then how does a client qualify?
Are you qualifying? Are you speaking of the income qualified discount?
Yes, yes.
Yes, so that's just by asking questions. So we know maybe a lot of you all that are assisting customers are already income qualified. And then there's those other options of, are they 65 years of age or older? Are they on SSI or SSDI? Are they participating in that housing choice voucher? Just asking those simple questions. You can see whether they qualify, or they can just simply go online to our income qualified portal, and they can go ahead and check to see if they are qualified.
No, can I look at a client's
And
bill?
no, it's not reflected on the bill. So we can have like some of those personal information on the bill, but
Dollar amount.
I was gonna say the dollar amounts, you can definitely see, in terms of any balances or dollar amounts that you can see. And you can also see whether they're already receiving that discount. It will show income qualified discount on the bill, and it'll show that amount. So you can tell if they're already receiving it.
Does that help, Susie?
So are we in season right now?
Yeah.
Any advice for us? And maybe repeat that.
So the question is, are we in lock season? And yes, actually, we were, Melissa and I were down in Talatuna, in Cobb County. We were in Cobb County helping with the mass intake with one of the community agencies there. And so it is definitely in season. And yes, people are putting in their applications. Dan, wanted to add? Yes. So we are up. So there was a software upgrade to the system, which did delay the LOCKED funding process. So typically, we know LOCKED is sent out to 2 different seasons. We have heating and cooling. And so for the heating season, usually that's sometime in December. However, due to a system upgrade, that did delay that LOCKED funding. And we just started getting that in January in terms of that funding being released. So that was a little delayed. You might have seen where customers were getting a little antsy about it, but in the midst of that, also we had the snow and all of the wonderful cold weather that we were receiving. So Georgia Power, of course, we wanted to support our customers and let them know that we understand the pain points and we're supporting you. So in the midst of all of that happening, we did delay disconnects for December, especially with the holidays coming forth, and wanted to just make sure our customers felt supported in that. What's the question? Will we grant the privilege to cancel pledges? No, we ourselves as coordinators, our energy assistants, we can cancel a pledge if you let us know, but no, we would not grant that. Right.
Well, that's a question that comes up a lot. And the main reason that we don't allow organizations to cancel pledges is we're very serious about the integrity of the program and the portal. And what we found over the years is that we'll have an organization maybe that's approved 501c3. And occasionally we'll have the organization pledge on their own account. Think about that for a second. So now if we give you the ability to cancel your own pledges, you'll pledge, you'll cancel, you'll pledge, you'll cancel, and every time pull your account out of collections. Exactly, and we've only called, I shouldn't use the word called, but we've observed 3 organizations do that, where it's an individual who has a 501c3 and they get established as a portal organization, and then every month we're watching the pledges very closely, and you start to see some patterns, and immediately you say, oh, we see what's happening here. So that's why we don't grant the privilege for you to cancel your own pledge.
Next question is, what are the checks and balances on
So you only have certain privileges. Sorry, so there are only certain privileges. That's why you're not able to cancel the pledges at all. So that's part of that. And then it was talking about the card. Right, so again, you have 3 different permission types: an agency manager, an agency rep, and then the view only access type. So only that agency manager can give permissions for people to pledge or pay on the account. But again, no cancellation of pledges is granted to anyone. Yeah, so the question about card.
Yeah, QR code up there, but how do we get to?
Yes, you can also go directly to our website as well. Our energy assistance website, it has that as well.
We're gonna send a digital form.
Yes, definitely make sure that we send all of the digital requests. We have some here in the office. We'll definitely make sure we leave some for you all to pick up if you're coming in, and we'll make sure that we send it via email as well. There's any other questions now?
Just one more question. This is Laura. I wanted to know if
Tamika and Melissa and thank you guys so much. This was super helpful and informative to me. I just wanted to mention real quick that our treasurer, I'm in Krista's conference, and our treasurer is really good about following up to say, do you have the neighbor's permission for me to go into the portal? So just make sure that the neighbor that we're serving knows that we're going into a portal on their behalf and making an electronic pledge or payment on their behalf. And it's usually a verbal permission is fine, but neighbors should always know what we're doing.
And there's a consent button that pops up when you go to retrieve that client's account number. There's a consent message that has to be clicked.
Okay, and Danny's saying there's a consent message that has to be clicked. You probably have seen this for the treasurers that have been in the portal, that you will click to acknowledge that the neighbor has consented, given permission for you to act on their behalf. How do we correct items in the cart? Yeah.
People have multiple names. Say they were married, divorced, whatever. They're going by their maiden name now, but their married name is the name that's on the bill. You have to make sure that the account number and the name match.
We're just talking about ensuring that the account number and the name match. People's names change frequently. A lot of times people have a lot of different names or multiple names. So just make sure that the account number, the name on the account and the account number match. Is there anything else from the chat or anyone else in the room? I know we're a few minutes over. I want to respect everyone's time. It's been very, very helpful for me. I had an approval before to do a pledge. And how do I regain access?
So your agency manager should be able to grant you access, re-access to that if you're having some trouble with that. Hope that answers the question.
So she'll know how
Who is our agency manager?
And if you need help, definitely we're here.
You guys have been incredible partners with us, and we really appreciate it. And I don't know if Miss Joanne Capes is on today. but she tells us how to do our business. She'll call me on my cell phone and say, Danny, how you doing, Miss Joelle? But we love that kind of engagement because typically if she calls us about something, it's something that we really need to check on. So we appreciate the partnership and thank you so much for inviting us out today.
And I think another question again, if you see some items in cart that need to be corrected or needed to be added, please just reach out to us and we'll make sure our information is there for you. That's it.
Mika, Melissa, and Danny, thank you so much. I think it's been really, really helpful. The slides will go out and the recording will go out for everyone online. We'll post it and we'll also email it to all the participants. Just thank you guys. Thank you for attending in person and online. And thank you, Mesco. We're glad you like the portal. Have a great afternoon, everyone. God bless. Bye-bye. Wow.